Hello everybody and welcome to my installation guide for Arch Linux ARM on the Raspberry Pi 5. For this tutorial I'll be using a Raspberry Pi 5 with standard Pi OS, a SD card to USB reader, and of course a SD card from which my Arch eventually will boot. Going into the Pi, I'll first do sudo bash so that I'll have sudo privileges. Once I have these privileges, I'll be typing the lsblk command to identify the main disk on which my PiOS is running, which in my case is the MMCLK0. After connecting my SD card via USB to the Pi, I can see with lsblk that my SD card is called STB. For now, I will U-mount and delete the partitions that I have on there so I can start from the same point as you guys. You can now see that once I do the lsblk command, the stb1 and stb2 partition are both gone. From this point forward, I will be using an installation guide that you can find on kilgen.org, on which the link is in the description. The following commands are the first commands to be entered. You can either follow it from this video or you can follow it from the link in the description. The next part is me filling in these commands. Because my SD card is not called MMCBLK0, I will be replacing it with STB and the partitions with STB1 and STB2 respectively. I will then continue with filling in these commands. Once you're done with the first set of commands, you will first remove one of the directories and then you will add the foundation kernel. At this point, make sure that you are following the following websites so you can see which version you should be using. In my case, it is 6.12.21-1. Once you've entered the last command, you can sync and unmount the SD card that you're using. After that, you can take the SD card out of the Pi and put it into it to boot it up. As you can see, once the SD card is put into the Pi, it will start to boot up. You can use the login credentials alarm and alarm for the password to log into the alarm user account. You can then do su root and root as password to become a root member. Once you're root, you can do the following commands to update the Arch Linux ARM. Make sure that you have an Ethernet connection when you're actually doing this. Once this is downloaded, which can actually take a while, you have to reboot the system one more time. As you can see, after the reboot, Arch Linux starts up. You can log in with the alarm credentials and become root with the root credentials, and you can now see in the LSBOK that the partitions are correctly done. Congratulations, you now have a working version of Arch Linux ARM on your Raspberry Pi 5.